campaign. Would you like to elaborate a little bit on that in the brief time that we have?
Thank you very much. Oh, my mic is on. What we feel is very important is to recognize the strong values and commitment that exist in Canada, that people are ready and keen to welcome immigrants and refugees. But the polling has shown that they've begun to have doubts, that they do have questions about what's happening, and they need a sense of confidence restored, but they're also looking for a government and a policies that uphold the traditions that they identify with. So our comment is that we're looking for a way to enable Canadians who are prepared and are willing and ready to welcome refugees and immigrants and who want the government to continue those traditions to signal that. That is the obligation that we all have, because the more that leaders cast doubts and start to have Canadians question that system, they also move with that narrative. So the opportunity of the We're Better Together campaign is to invite both organizations in civil society and members of Parliament to stand up to the values and the ideals that we know, whether our families came here last year or 100 years ago, across languages and cultures in this country, we look out for each other. And that we are a stronger country when we are together. We are a stronger and more country when we are more diverse. And that is the message that we want to tell people, because increasingly, many people in Canada are starting to feel not safe, and they're questioning their whole, the question of choosing Canada or not. And we are deciding the future of the kind of country we want to build. When we see what's happening in the U.S., I think there are many, many people in Canada, and our experience in communities across the country is that people want to stand up and say that we have a different way, where we want to have a system that provides a safe future for all families, refugees, migrants, and immigrants. And to do that, we have to start sharing those stories and speaking to that. So we're inviting members of Parliament to join the campaign, for organizations to join the campaign, so that we can find solutions together, but that tell that story loud and proud, so that we maintain the commitment that we will, in the long term, stay an inclusive and strong country.
Monsieur Baruchewski, j'ai vu votre comportement physique quand. Est-ce que vous êtes d'accord qu'on doit avoir?
Do you agree that we need a positive narrative on immigrants and refugees, and the government has its role to play to make sure that is done? I totally agree with what my colleague has just said. And I'll simply add that that is the context in which we want to preserve the system. If there are problems with the system, we need to recognize that and manage the problems. So that's why I told the other MP that historically numbers should have been reduced significantly. In the 80s, the two parties in government had reduced the numbers when there was tension. So we need to go back to that and not automatically assume that there will be many. There were historic figures. We need to reduce the numbers to preserve this cohesion and this Canadian value. I think that's very positive.